Let's have a quick recap of the model view update pattern, which is the cornerstone of Elm web apps. The model is responsible for keeping the application state, such as the list of products in our shopping cart web app. The view is responsible for the presentation of the web app. Since the presentation is data, the view takes the model as input and returns the output of various Elm HTML functions. The update is responsible for the interactivity of web apps, since it takes messages, such as mouse clicks, and then creates a new model. Here is an illustration of how events are handled. Given this web app, let's say a user clicks on a button of the web app. The click event is handled by the Elm runtime, which sends a message to the update function that also takes the current model and creates an output, which is a new model, which is used by the view function to update the presentation of the web app, which the Elm runtime propagates back to the web app. Here is some Elm code with the critical pieces for handling mouse clicks on a new button, which increments product quantities in the shopping cart. First, we need to define a custom type named message with only one possible value. The new custom type is used when adding a button to the view. The onClick event sends a new message with the increment quantities value. The increase quantity function helps update the quantity field of a product record. Notice the syntax for updating records. Here is the original record, then the pipe symbol, and the field which is going to be updated by setting it to the original quantity plus 1. The update function has two parameters, the message and the model. If the button is pressed, the increment quantities message is sent, so the update function returns this expression. ListMap is going to call the increase quantity function on each record of the model and return a new updated model. If the button was not pressed, then just return the original model. So far, we only use models and views. To add the update function, we need to set main to the output of browser sandbox called with a record that has the initial model, the update function, and the view function. Let's have a demo on adding a new button to the shopping cart. When clicking the button, each quantity is increased by 1. We are going to create a new custom type for the click message. Then we are going to add a new button to the view. A new update function is needed with the logic to increase quantities. Finally, we need to link the model view and update by calling them with the browser sandbox function. On the demo machine, switch to Visual Studio Code, select and delete the commented code which we no longer need, and define a new custom type named message with just one possible value named increment quantities. Let's add a new button to the view. After the table, press enter, comma, and type button. Auto import it. The list of attributes has the onClick event handler, which sends the new increment quantities message. The second argument of the button function is a list with a call to the text function and the string increase quantities. Save the file. Now we need to add the update function with the logic for handling the increment quantities message. The update function has a message and a model parameter. Since the message has only one possible value, we can use an if expression. If message is equal to increment quantities, then update the model by calling ListMap with a new function and the model. Since the function is very basic, we can use an anonymous function. Put some parentheses, \product, arrow, return a new record with product, the pipe symbol, and the new value for quantity, product quantity plus 1. The second argument of ListMap is model. This line creates a new model with incremented quantities. Remember that if expressions must have the else clause. Add else, return the original model without any modifications. Now we need to link the model view and update by calling them with the browser sandbox function. Instead of cart view of model, main is going to be equal to browser.sandbox, auto import it, add a new record with the init field and the initial model, which is products model. The update field gets the update function. Finally, the view field gets the cart view function. Save the file again. Keep an eye on the cart view and update functions. When clicking the new button, the increment quantities message and the current model are sent to the update function, which calls listmap to increment each quantity. Let's switch to the browser and see if it works as expected. Refresh the page and notice the new button with the increased quantities text. Press the button. Oops, quantities do not change. Is there a bug? Let's have a closer look at the cart view function. Here is something strange. The table body keeps using products model, which is the unchanged initial model. Instead, it should use the model parameter, which has the updated values. Let's replace products model with model. Save the file and switch back to the browser. Refresh the page and click the button. Alright, quantities are now incremented as expected. Congratulations for adding basic interactivity to the web app. Next, let's add more events to the shopping cart.